Divine Walk.
Welcome to the Divine Walk podcast. I am your host, Diana. Our mission is to guide listeners on a spiritual journey, deepening their understanding and relationship with God through insightful discussion, personal testimony, and biblical teachings. So, we aim to talk biblical truth, encourage spiritual growth, foster community and support, address relevant issues, promote love and compassion, and to be Christ like minded. Why is the world love lawlessness? Even America. Concept of lawlessness and why people might be drawn to it can be explored through various biblical principles and insightful. So, the Bible offers general explanation that can be applied to any society that seems to embrace lawlessness. So, let us begin. Number one, human sinful rebellion. It's Romans 3, verse 23. For all have sinned and fall short the glory of God. Human nature is inherently sinful and promote rebellion against God's law. And this fundamental sinfulness can manifest in a love for lawlessness. Number two, influence of worldly desire. First John 2, verse 15 to 17. Do not love the world or anything in the world. If anyone love the world, the love of the Father is not in him. For everything in the world, the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eye, and the pride of life come not from the Father, but from the world. The world and its desire pass away, but whosoever does the will of God will live forever. People are often drawn to worldly desire and pleasure, which can lead to disregard of God's law and embrace the love for lawlessness. Of spiritual discernment. Second Thessalonians 2 verse 9 to 12. Coming of the lawless one will be in according on how Satan works. He will use all sort of display of power through the sign and wonder that serve the lie, and all the way that wickedness deceive those who are perishing. They perish because they refuse to love the truth and to be saved. For this reason, God sent them a powerful delusion so that they will believe the lie, and so that all the will be condemned who have not believed the truth but have delighted in wickedness. It's a spiritual deception, and lack of love for the truth can lead people to love lawlessness. And this deception is often a result of rejecting God's truth. Number four, rejection of God's authority. You see, Judge 21, verse 25. In those days, Israel has no king, and everyone did as they saw fit. When people reject God's authority and the moral order He established, they tend to follow their own desire, leading to lawlessness. Five, love of self over love of God. This is 2 Timothy 3, verse 1 to 5. It said that there will be a terrible time in the last days, and we're in the last days. People will be lover of themselves, lover of money, boastful, proud, abusive, disobedient to their parents, ungrateful, unholy, without love, unforgiving, slaughterous without self-control, brutal, not lover of good, lover of pleasure rather than lover of God, having a form of godliness but denying its power, have nothing to do with such people. Why people prioritize self-love and pleasure over the love for God? It leads to a behavior and attitude promote lawlessness. End time prophecy. See Matthew 24, verse 12. Because of the increase of wickedness and the love of most will grow cold. Jesus did prophesy that in the end times wickedness will increase, leading many to turn from the love and righteousness. And this increase in lawlessness is a sign of the time. So you see, cultural shift, societal shift towards where moral absolute or rejected can lead to a embrace or love of lawlessness. So when each people decided their own moral standard and chaos and lawlessness can ensure media influence. The media and cultural influence that glorify rebellion and violence and immorality that desensitize people to lawlessness and make it seem appealing. Spiritual vacuum. In the absence of strong spiritual and moral foundation, people may gravitate toward lawlessness as mean as self-expression. Final word. While the Bible discusses the love of lawlessness, it provides timeless truth about human nature and the condition that leads to such behavior. It's a sin, worldliness, rejection of God, authority, self center, spiritual deception, cultural influence all contribute to the love of lawlessness. And Christians are called to be conqueror, the upholding God's standard of holiness and righteousness in a world that often embraces the opposite of God. The result of being increased in violence, in accepting immorality, or a complete loss of decent and safe living. Morality and traditional value has declined in the world, even in America, over many years because the people have forgotten God. Satan has deceived the hearts of people, persuading them to disobey God. And those who join Satan on this tragic train, captive, he is a great deceiver and has betrayed many evil people in the culture. He convinced leader in government, media, university, or even in many churches that wrong is right. I'm telling you, even the time is come that people will love the lie more than the truth. The reality of a daily life show that biblical morality has little place in the life of most people. By large, their culture which accept any value demonic behavior. See, when we look at the world around us, it can become very easy become discouraged by what we see. And the amount of hatred that run deep in the hearts of many, and the constant agony that we see across the world is enough to make a person question life. But as Christian, we don't need to question life. We know that all things relating to doom, death, destruction are of the enemy. We know that all things good come from God, and He has commissioned us to go into the world and release His good to all mankind. Even if Christian trying, many people reject it because of spiritual deception, satanic influence, and so many more unworldliness. So the ultimate good being the gifts of salvation, preaching the gospel will come with consequences. People will try to discourage Christian, but we will be threatened to many. But people will abandon many. There will be a moment where it feel as if the entire world is against you, Christians. But we have to choose to hold on God and to praise Him regardless of what is happening. You need to get back your walk with God and work on your spiritual life because the time is getting very terrible. If to worry about anything, look at what Elijah have done. Elijah have go through a lot of things because of Jezebel who killed a lot of God's prophet. And what did Elijah do? Elijah went up to the mountain and talked with God. What did happen to Jezebel? I tell you, Trust in the Lord. It's once you have faith in God, God will protect you. God will protect his people. It's always good, no matter what we face on this earth, when we remind ourselves of this goodness and it helps us endure the trials and tribulation of life. In a time of trouble, we need to turn our eyes to God and seek him. We can only receive comfort and strength from God. Human being will always let us down. We will also let people down too. But only one who will never let us down is God. His faithfulness is always assured. No matter what, God's word informs us of many reasons we can trust God in peace. He has been faithful even before we realize the weight of his love. So this is the end of the video, guys. Thank you for watching, and I will see you soon. Like, comment, and subscribe.